Okay.
Go.
Okay, so I'm Shanice, as you know. Welcome.
Introduce me.
No, you introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. I'm.
This is not being edited. It's just straight up because I can't edit. So.
Sure. I'm Sherry. I am Shanice's good old friend from long time ago, and I am not Korean.
She says that because today we're going to be talking about Singles Inferno. So if you are not living under a rock, you've probably heard about Netflix's hot new Korean dating reality show that's been just sweeping the world and everyone's been talking about it. So Sherry actually was the person that told me to watch Singles Inferno.
I was?
Yes. I knew about it, but if you know me, I technically don't really watch reality TV. But she was like, "You're gonna like this," and so I was like, "Okay, let me give it a chance." And I did. This I can prove it with text messages.
Okay. But we're talking about season 1.
That was
which
for season 1.
Last year.
That was last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
But season 2, I was the one that was like, "Have you watched season 2?" So.
Every time I messaged you, you were already finished.
Oh yeah, I finished watching. As soon as it came out, I was like, let me go consume content. If you know me, I watch it at least 2 times the speed.
At least.
Because, unless it's gospel or, listening to Pastor Chris, why am I wasting my time? So I tend to speed up things or use the speed play button. Anyways, all that context being given,
very long intro.
We're going to talk about what we think about the Singles Inferno.
Season 2, Singles Inferno.
Singles Inferno
Season 2.
Well, first off, season 1 or season 2, which one do you like better?
Oh my gosh, I think season 1. Season 2, they just did, what it was is the producers did a bad job.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know about all of that. Okay, this is what I say when I try to reason it out. The reason I like season 1 better is because the season 1 contestants were more fun to watch. While the season 2 contestants, I feel like I would be friends with them, but they're not fun to watch.
There wasn't a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And the drama that there was, it was just like not spicy, But the thing is, season 1 they based it off of Gia, the main girl that everyone was obsessed with, and she was a character. She's the type of person Kim, you would put as Kim Kardashian on a show. She can produce content, but the producers basically filmed it the same way they did season 1, thinking that this girl,
Silky,
would be like the same Gia, but she didn't give.
she didn't give. Okay, well, this is what I think. Actually, I felt like I really liked her. I really liked her as a person because I felt like she was being very honest and upfront and clear about her emotions every step of the way. And I actually think that the producers tried to recover from mistakes that they had made in season 1. They brought in Jin Young very early in, whereas last season they brought in the other contestants too late in for really anything to have developed between all the people.
Of all the people, but because Gia already knew that contestant, they kind of hit it off really well. So it sucked for the other person. But Gia and then the hot guy of last season,
the dancer,
they hit it off because they already knew of each other, so that helped and that was formed. But even in the season, they tried to do it earlier, but at the same time, the girl got left out. She couldn't match with anyone.
Well, that's because she was going for the guy that 5 other girls already.
Yeah, but none of the other guys were interested in her either.
Because she literally beelines for Jin Young. And so it's okay, well, where are we? She didn't even try to get to know any of the other guys. And I actually really didn't like her character. I appreciated how honest and true to herself she was. But I was just bro, she made it so that Jin Young had to basically hurt her. And even then, she kept still trying to take up his time, even though he's I'm not really interested in you.
Yeah.
And she then goes and interrupts when he's talking with Nadine, who's the second girl he's actually interested in. You know, so
I
was
mean,
like,
a lot of people were interested in him, and no one really knew who he was.
No, he
interested in,
made it
except
pretty
for
clear. No, he made it pretty clear.
Well, okay, the beginning, right? The first two contestants, was Silky and the so and he realized he wasn't interested. He wasn't interested in Soon, like physically.
I think he wasn't interested in her because also she wasn't reacting to him.
No, well, from how they like clipped it together, she was.
No, she wasn't, because they literally were eating, and she took a back seat and kind of let Soki drive with Jin Young. Like she wasn't, because she was already into Young Jae.
I think you were talking about a different clip. I'm talking about the initial clip where he picks the two contestants.
Oh, he just picked them from their face.
Yeah, from their face. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And from then on, he made it clear that he wasn't interested in her. Because he's right off the bat, he picked Silky
Let me clear things up here.
Okay.
Y'all have watched this show. So he picks two people to have lunch with.
Yes, that part.
And so when he picks those two people to have lunch with, during the lunch that they are having together, Someone is kind of passive. She's not sending any signals like, I'm interested in you, because she's already into Young Jae.
But so is Silky. Like I think from what I remember, she was also very quiet because she's shy, right? She's not
She was definitely sending signals in that lunch. So it was not there. You can go rewatch the clip.
Sure. Like, I mean, but then again,
she was sending signals.
He already had his eyes on her. Like,
yeah,
it was solidified. But the thing is, he realized he wasn't interested in Seoul. Even if she didn't like him, it wouldn't matter because he was going to pick the girl he liked. Because, like, remember? I don't know. See, the interactions between Silky and the YouTube guy, they're kind of, like, weird. Like, there's tension, but it's like she doesn't know what to do with herself.
Because I'm not nervous.
I'm not a huge fan of that couple.
I can tell.
So this is where we disagree, because I feel like
it's very obvious that she's interested in him. So she's uncomfortable. She's nervous.
Yeah.
She's like letting him lead, and even whenever they do the cast react where they're watching it, she's actually watching herself, and she's like, please, I hope Jungwoo doesn't see this, because she's so obviously into him.
Yes, she's so obviously into him. But the thing is, okay, what's his name? He doesn't seem like a guy who like picks up signals. He's like the oblivious kind of guy.
Who?
What's his name?
The main guy that everyone likes, Jin Young?
Jin Young.
That is incorrect. Mance was definitely like, he was on the ball every single time. Jungwoo, the guy she ends up with, does not pick up signals. In fact, that was a joke, because whenever they left, he was like pairing the wrong people, and everyone's like, you got it wrong. So Jin Young was very smart.
I meant in the way that, like, obviously other people looking in can like see what's going on, right? But I'm saying the little, like, in the conversations, I don't think Jin Young could pick up the way she's like, saying certain things, because he just seems like that kind of guy who doesn't pick up signals.
He's definitely been on it. Like,
because at the end, he said that he wished he would have been more
it was
straightforward.
On him. Yeah, he was the one that wasn't being straightforward. And that's why I said she made the right choice in picking Jungwoo, because he liked her, she liked him. However, in their conversation, she's super honest. She's like, yes, I like you. And she's so clear up front, and then when it's his turn to reciprocate, he's like, well, I'm thinking about how I'm supposed to support you and all these things, and I'm like, what?
But the thing is, she didn't understand what that meant.
No, she understood, and she's like, I'm just trying to follow my heart. Like, she literally says, like, we should just follow our hearts. Don't make it so complicated.
Right.
And so
like,
I'm like,
I remember that specific part where he just talks about, like, the future, how he's so busy.
Yeah.
And I saw her face. I think she was confused what he was referring to, because I was confused whether he was referring to her or just, like, another girl, or, like, in general.
No, he was talking in general, because he's interested in two girls. He's interested in Silky and in Nadine. And both of them are young, and they're still in school.
Yeah.
And so even with Nadine, he's like thinking, oh my gosh, it's just like, what are you doing? Then you shouldn't have come on. You shouldn't have come to this show. Like, why are you here?
He was thinking too far in advance.
Yeah, and it's like, just communicate about your emotions right now. Stop thinking about it in the future, first off, just tell me you like me. Like, that's not that hard to do. She's
But
literally
he was
opened
pretty
up to him.
obvious, like, about who he liked, because out of every conversation, even in groups, he would pick on her
Oh
specifically.
no, yeah. There's no there's no like confusion about him, like, clearly. But the thing is, he was still saying he has two people. He said that over and over. And the last episode, and you can go check out. I know exactly what I'm referring to. They all sit in the bonfire. They're all talking, and then there's a conversation he has with her too. And that's where she's basically solidified. And I could tell from that conversation that she's not gonna pick him, because she's laid her heart bare, and you can't even return the bare minimum. You're over here talking about how can I support
when do you
you
think
and
she
all
made
this
the,
stuff.
when do you think she actually made the decision? Because I think, based off of her personality, what I've noticed is she doesn't like to be pushed. If you remember from her first date with the doctor guy,
I think anybody that's on a date with that Dongwoo, the doctor guy, he messed it up completely.
no, but they just didn't.
That's
Their
too much.
personalities
No,
just didn't
he's
clash.
too pressuring. There's no way. Like, okay, imagine you're on a date with this guy. Your first date, you just met this guy a day ago, and he's like, "Oh, I like you." I'm like, I just met you. I get that for guys, you can like a girl from just her looks or whatever, but most girls need some time to be like, okay, let me. And so when he keeps saying, "I like you," how do you feel? How do you feel? She's like, I'm good.
Well,
like,
she
she
didn't-
starts backing off from there.
Yeah, because she didn't want to tell him that she didn't like him. She didn't want to outright. But the thing is, he's kind of like oblivious to things. Like, he needs something spelled out for
But that's
him.
the thing, is she didn't have a feeling one way or the other yet when they were in paradise. It's only when he starts pushing her that she starts moving towards, I don't like him, I
So
don't like
that's
him,
why
I
she
don't
doesn't
like him.
yeah.
And then by the time they come back to Inferno, she's like, yeah, I'm good. Because he's still pushing her. So she's like,
She
I'm actually
really
good.
did not. The thing is, she really didn't like him. And what I'm trying to lead to is that part
They
where.
picked each other to go to paradise.
What do you mean?
To go to paradise, they both had to be on the same page. So she initially was interested in him.
Okay, I don't
It's
remember
one-
that. But what I'm trying to.
To go to paradise, they have to
I know.
pick each other.
But what I'm trying to get at is, like, the way that she doesn't like to be pushed, right? But I think it was the last episode when Jin Young went on a date with Nadine and came back. They had their conversation, and I forget what the conversation was, but he said something about, like.
Wait, Jin Young and Nadine, or the doctor guy? Don't
No, Jin Young and Seolki had
Okay.
met up right after his date with Nadine. He asked her to come walk with him, right, to get water. And right as they were gonna go back to the tents, there was this part where she was like, I didn't like what you said there. I forget what he said, but it was something that rubbed her the wrong way. And I think that's when she decided she was gonna.
Yeah,
pick
we
Jo-
literally just agreed on. You just
Jung-woo.
agreed with what I'm saying. Yeah, that conversation is the moment she decides. That
No,
she's
not
going
not the bonfire one.
with him. Right, the conversation that is just the two of them sitting down, and then they switch partners. Like, the other people come and talk to them. Remember the new girl comes in to talk to Jin Young, and I think it was actually Dongwoo that comes in to talk with Seolki. But she and Jin Young had just been talking, and she was literally like telling him that she likes him, and then he's responding with some rubbish, and she's like, all right, you know what, I'm good. And that's when she decides she's gonna pick. And so then whenever they come at the very end, she's already made her decision. Like, she's already gonna pick Jungwoo at that point, because he messed up that last conversation. I feel like if he had been just upfront with her and stopped talking about, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna support my girlfriend, and like, sir, don't come on the show.
No,
You're not clear about that.
But the reason why I think she picked Jungwoo wasn't really necessarily because of that. It was because at the end, she was attracted to Jin Young, but she realized that, like, she could have a conversation with Jungwoo. Like, they obviously got along, but the thing is, I think she ended up realizing that she was struggling so much with Jin Young, like, she couldn't open up and be herself. Because she said that at the end. She's like, you know, it was really hard for me to be myself with Jin Young, but I could be myself and feel really comfortable. Like she felt really comfortable with Jungwoo.
Yeah, but I think you're missing the part where she literally says, she's like, do I want to pick someone I like or someone who likes me? And
Yeah.
so the reason she's uncomfortable around Jin Young is because she likes him, so she's very nervous around him. Obviously, over time, those feelings kind of settle down when you get into a relationship. But the reason she chose Jungwoo is man has been upfront every single time. He's gunning for her. He's clear. He follows through on his word. Like she doesn't have to be confused. And I think that's what the selling point was not the discomfort from her internal place, but like from the external factors of he's gonna be upfront with me. He's gonna like be clear about his feelings to me.
But she also liked him. The thing was, she also liked him, and I think the other part that solidified was their paradise date, where she realized that this guy she had actually met before, kind of like knew of,
She knew of his
through his like cafe on Instagram or something, and I think that's where it solidified for her.
Yeah,
but
but
the
she
thing
said
was,
herself too, though, that she was like the moment, because from jump he wasn't her number one pick from jump. First she liked Jungwoo,
obviously.
then she liked Jin Young. The only time she started paying attention to Jungwoo seriously was when he gave her that book. She read it,
Yes,
and then she realized, oh my God, this guy has been, he kept expressing himself towards her. And when she read that page that he picked out for her, she was like, oh my God, you could tell like she actually cried and everything.
But the thing is, I don't think she read that in the point of view of Jungwoo, seeing it from Jungwoo's point of view. I think she read it for herself, seeing her as that person in that
yeah, but she literally
page.
said
But
that,
no, in that page, because of how that's exactly how she was with Jin Young.
right, but she literally says that as she read that, she realized that that was how he was feeling. That she was feeling this way, and so she realized how he was feeling, and she was like, I now get that he's having such a hard time.
Right, because
And that's when she was like feeling like empathetic towards him and started
because
really,
they were
like,
going through
opening
the same
herself.
thing. Yeah.
Exactly. She started opening
but
herself.
that
to
was
him.
only afterwards. I think in that moment why she cried was just because like that's how she was with Jin Young, and she didn't like
Right, I'm not saying she was crying about him. Like, yeah, that wasn't my intention. I think we're saying the same thing, but we always seem to be like on different wavelengths, but going in the same direction. So
I'm trying to make an emphasis on a different point.
Yeah, exactly. I get what you're saying. And so with that huge conversation out of the way, who was the person that was just like, I'm taking this person with me after the show is over? Like, who was your person from this?
My
from
person?
This? Yeah, who was your person?
Oh, I don't feel strongly about any of them. Like, I like them for different reasons. I'm not a Jin Young fan. Like, I know you probably are. But
I understand all of them. That's what I would say. I understand all of them. And their motivations.
Yeah, I understand that. But yeah, I'm just not a huge Jin Young fan. He's very mission driven, obviously, and I just didn't like the dynamic between him and Silky. But I thought his dynamic and Nadine was just like, wow, that was amazing. I wish that there was more content there. And same thing with Silky and Jungwoo. Like, I don't know if you guys like watched the episode before and then watched the episode after with both of them on those two separate dates. I was like, wow, those two need to be together separately and not Jin Young and Silky. Like,
I felt like there was no, and I think
maybe
Jin
there's
Young
no
felt the
maybe
same
there's
way.
no
There was no
romance.
romantic chemistry at all.
maybe there's no chemistry.
It was just a lot of friendship chemistry, which is, it's a good foundation to build a relationship on.
And the issue with Jin Young and Silky's chemistry is that she wasn't feeling comfortable. Maybe if there was like more time given, but she just seemed like really not on the same page with them.
Yeah,
Even if there was like chemistry, so it was just never gonna work out.
I don't know about all that.
Even like the producer or the people in the commentators, I was definitely cheering for Silky to pick Jungwoo, and the reason why I thought that Silky was not gonna pick Jungwoo is because she was gonna go with her heart. But the only time that I've thought that Silky would pick Jungwoo is if she realized, oh, like, me and Jin Young will never work out because he's like out of my league kind of situation, and I should pick someone who I could actually have a potential like relationship.
I give her more credit than
that's
that.
my
No.
that's my thought process.
She clearly, you can tell who she likes and who she doesn't like. You're not even trying to hide it. But like, I honestly, out of all the girls, I really related to Soki and Soon. I felt like all of them stayed true to their hearts, and you know, they were very honest and open about who they wanted. But I really liked that she was very clear in communicating how she felt at every step of the way. And for me, my person was Hanbin, because like, I really appreciated the not pressuring the person you like aspect. He really did a good job of that. So where Soon didn't feel bad about him liking her and her not reciprocating, I feel like that's really hard to pull off. So I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Hanbin. You're very cute. Thank you very much.
He realized, I think it was the age gap, he realized that, you know, there's a big age gap, so he probably had no chance. So it made it easier for him. It's like an excuse.
There wasn't a big age gap. It was like 4 years. But she was not reciprocating his feelings.
Yeah, but it made sense. It made sense. I think even he could feel it. Like there's.
But even before they went to Paradise and got to know each other, they had that conversation where he was like, "I don't want to pressure you. This is how I feel."
Yeah.
And she already wasn't reciprocating then. She was already like, and then when she finds out his age, she's like, "Yeah, I'm really not into younger guys." So, but at the end of the day, Mr. Hanbin, you were it for me. Thank you so much all of our people.
I love Hanbin's personality. Okay, I will say the one person that I initially wasn't interested in, but then actually learned to like was the suit guy. What's his name? Sejun. Yeah, Sejun. Sejun is actually.
He's awesome.
I realized he's actually pretty. Yeah,
he's hilarious. Mans was funny. The only funny person.
And I was like, wow,
I loved it.
Soe doesn't deserve it.
No, I mean, I'm first off, I'm so glad that Soe did not pick Young Jae when she had the chance to.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Thank you so much for doing that, because that's what happened last season, and that was my main concern, was that seeing that behavior repeated.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did.
I'll say like the producers definitely picked the same characters, like the same personalities that they did for season 1 for season 2. And parts of it really did play out the same way. It was just that the girls and guys had like different like types, and they all went for like
the same types, and there wasn't enough of the same types available. So we've talked a lot, but I think that really captured the essence of how we both felt about it. If you haven't already watched Singles Inferno, they're not telling us to say this, but I feel like it'll probably help you to go watch it,
Just
so
watch
you understand why we feel the way we do. And then
it's
comment,
cute.
Comment and tell us which one of us you agree with. If you watch it, you'll see that it's me that you agree with. But
and then it also low-key liked Young Jae.
I mean, yeah.
Also, okay, so I was huge fan of So.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's my favorite. Out of all the characters, she's my
awesome.
favorite. She didn't have a lot of conflict, but she's just like an awesome person.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. But anyways, if you guys have other shows, series you want us to talk about, drop a comment. We may or may not watch it, and then we'll be able to share our thoughts with you.
Annyeong!
Bye.